Did you know why U.S. Armed Force troopers didn't just like the Armed Force rolls that were issued to warriors amid the American Civil War? These rolls were called hardtack, and were not concocted by the Americans. Rolls of this sort were utilized in numerous armies of the world, and within the naval force. But why did these rolls get negative surveys? And indeed a melody was composed almost them in which troopers complained approximately the quality. But what is hardtack? These were basic rolls made of flour and water. In spite of the fact that they were provided by weight, officers got a certain sum in a few military units, 9 pieces per officer, in others 10. But as a run the show, they were sufficient for everybody. Those warriors who seemed not eat them shared with the others. In spite of the reality that hardtack was nutritious, a hungry man might eat all 10 of his rolls and still stay hungry. In common, they routinely got to be objects of outrage from soldiers. And there were 3 reasons for this. To begin with, they might be so difficult that they may not be nibbled. In this case, the officer would hit the scone difficult with his clenched hand to break it. The moment reason was that the rolls were regularly mildew-covered and damp. In this case, they might not be given to troopers. And at long last, the third reason was that on the off chance that the rolls were not put away properly, insect hatchlings would begin up in them. So we learned approximately 3 reasons for the detest of rolls, which were nicknamed cheat press saltines, or wormlocks, by the troops. On the off chance that the rolls arrived in great condition, they were exceptionally difficult. But frequently, due to disgraceful capacity conditions, they got to be clammy. Or they got to be rotten. For the same reason, rolls got to be an amazing safe house for creepy crawlies. For case, amid the attack of Richmond, when troopers opened a box of rolls, they found that they were swarming with worms, and tossed them into the foot of the trench. When an officer yelled at the officers that he had over and over illegal them to toss bread into the trenches, the officers answered that they had tossed it out 2 or 3 times, but it slithered back. But what may they do? The officers had to eat such bread as well. The troopers mollified the rolls in coffee, hit them with the butt of their weapons, tossed them into soup. They indeed splashed them in water and after that fricasseed them in bacon fat. There was also an curiously way to urge freed of hatchlings. The rolls were tossed into hot water, the bread doused and settled at the foot of the pot, and the hatchlings and other creepy crawlies drifted to the beat. They were carefully collected, the water was depleted, and the coming about bread mass was dried once more. Some of the time the officers blended the rolls with condensed rain, and got an unordinary dessert. They too sprinkled them with sugar. And the circumstance was indeed more curiously for the Southerners. Due to the blockade and the deficiency of wheat flour, the Confederates had to form difficult tortillas from corn and rice. The Southerners fricasseed the tortillas in fat or oil to form them at slightest a small more delicious. Envision simply need to eat something like this for an entire month?
Please like and subscribe. There will be many more interesting videos.